YouTube, and welcome back to Boss Talk 843 Reacts, the place where you're going to get the best reactions every single dang time. Hey, we're out here in the gorgeous Blanchard Park today, so I decided to do my intro from here. And what we're going to be talking about today is the diaspora to Africa, people moving back to Africa, and I'm going to show you a lot of videos, a lot of clips from TikTok of people showing you the experiences of when they move back or what they got going on with moving back to Africa. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that ding 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 bell button for your boy so you get the notifications when I drop all new videos. So let's get to it. All right.
80% of African Americans, stop pretending, cannot afford to come to Africa.
Wow, really?
I'm saying they cannot afford. They may want it in their heart, but America has them shoed, have them bootstrapped, tied. Because guess what? They have to pay mortgage every month. They have to pay their car note every month. They have to pay their insurance every month. They can't even watch DSTV unless they pay every month.
Wow.
So how are you going to have money to say, let me go back and learn about my family, my history, my roots one every month? You have to worry about, I got to pay this. I got to pay. When do you get a break to think?
Wow.
But that's the system. This allows me to control you left, right. Because you never have time to stop and say, oh, how do I work on this, or where do I go from here? You don't have that time. And when you live in America, most people, if they're being honest, on the first of the month, from the first to about the 20th, 25th of the month is when you finish paying your bills.
Wow. Wow.
You probably got about maybe 5 to 7 days in a month that you can actually think without thinking about paying a bill.
We are all Black women who left America and moved to Africa. We are living in paradise and happy AF. God is good.
Text without believing how they said you supposed to believe it, and I think that's the problem. We're throwing out the baby with the bathwater. But if you look at those,
if you're speaking about like comedic texts and things of that nature, fine. But I'm saying this whole Bible,
but it comes from the comedic text.
Everybody,
because if you understand, and see, that's why I can say that, because I understand Kemet.
We did it, y'all. We moved to Africa. Me and my family were living in Tanzania. We just got here about a week ago. Jet lag is still kind of kicking our butt just a little bit, but Black people, people of the African diaspora, people who are Black but do not live in Africa, man, y'all gotta visit. Y'all gotta visit somewhere. This is paradise. I don't care what people have told you about Africa. This place is beautiful. It's amazing seeing Black people everywhere that look like us. It still is a big culture shift. We're still learning the language. Swahili is the main language spoken here. We're still trying to get it under our belt. But we're here at the beach, and it's just beautiful. And so we're having a good time. Just want to let y'all know, get to Africa, y'all. Get to Africa, at least come and visit. Figure out your own opinion. Don't let anybody else give you the lies and the propaganda and all the stuff. It's beautiful here.
My name is Tanisha Cologne Bibb. I'm originally from Harlem, New York, and I recently relocated to Johannesburg, South Africa, where I spend $88 a day to live here. It is absolutely cheaper to live in South Africa than it is to live in New York City. New York is the center of the world. But just as much as I was mentally drained, I was also financially drained. Anyone who is from there, who lives there, knows that you step outside, it's a joke. You step outside, you spend $100 easily without even doing anything. So I was grateful to be able to have a little bit of more financial freedom and be able to save when I came to South Africa. My biggest expense in South Africa right now is rent. And I made it a point to find a place that would allow me to have a home office so that that expense would then be just put into our home expense for the rent.
Wait a minute. I said, wait a minute, these bitches ain't no scammers. These is hoes.
Come with me grocery shopping. Because I live in Africa, people are so curious what it's like to buy food. They don't think we drive. They think that we only get our food from buzzing crazy markets and there are no grocery stores. Oop. Well, hate to bust your bubble, but there are grocery stores in Africa. Sorry. And it's just like a grocery store anywhere else, except we have local products that aren't genetically modified and want to make you huge. Here's the American store because people don't think we have resources to do our hair. So here we go. Everything you need from America. Of course, fresh fruit from the farms. And then I get stuck in traffic. I did have to drive by this fish, but here's our...
Moving my family to Tanzania.
So crime is a serious problem in Tanzania.
Do you know what's funny about this video? Is that every single person I know who is also African has had this exact same experience. A while ago, I was having a conversation with somebody who did not look like me, who was trying to tell me about how dangerous and corrupted Nigeria was, and I just sat there and I listened and I laughed. And I laughed for a good 5 minutes straight, and I looked him straight in the face and I said, thank you so much for the misinformation that you consistently perpetuate when you're talking to other people who usually want a change of environment or to experience different cultures. Thank you so much. Now, let me sit down and educate you about the country in which I was born in, raised, culturally raised, visited multiple times, and has over 80% of my family in. And he looks me straight in the face and he was flabbergasted. Be careful who you get your information from, people.
Yep, the white man.
Do you feel more black here?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, I feel more. I do feel more black here. You know why? I buy black inevitably. It doesn't matter where I go. And I won't say that because I have learned recently that some of these bigger places are owned by white people or Chinese people or something like that. So I've learned to, frequent the black owners, but it's easy here. Like the corner store, the locals, the market, it's all black people that woke up, went in their garden, picked those apples for you or picked those tomatoes for you and came to sell them to you. The people who's building my house, these are black people. Everything I do here is black, not to mention the money I'm spending, there's black people on it. Like, that's a big deal for me. When I go in my pocket and spend, I'm constantly reminded of how great my people are. So I do feel more black here in a good way, though. Like, you can feel real black in America, too, but in a bad way. Like, you go into the nail salon to get your feet done. Chinese people doing your feet, they talk about you in their language. You go to the corner store ran by the Arabs and you give them their money. They give you your change on the counter, not in your hand. Or they watch you around the whole store like you're going to steal. The police are killing us and shooting us down for no reason. So I'm very black in America, too, but just in a bad way. Like, here, I'm like royalty black, honey. Like, I'm the president. Like,
I am not with Metro anymore. I am with AT&T. And guess what? My bill's still low.
I am a Black American and I absolutely love to travel to the continent of Africa. It's my favorite continent in the whole wide world. But one of my biggest fears is that the more Black Americans come to this continent, they will not handle it with grace and with care. So, for example, I am in Ghana right now and I'm getting messages and people are sending me texts of people who had a bad experience at a festival or like all two people who got their phone stolen. And people are like, oh my God, I'm afraid, I can't come. They don't have their stuff together, this, that. And I'm like, that is their experience. It's not my job to negate or validate somebody's personal experience. That is what happened to them. But I just wish more Black Americans handled the systems that they think need to be in place with more care, understanding the historical context for why those conditions actually exist. And also understand that negative news about the continent literally drives people's internalized fear that Africa is inherently bad, and it literally feeds stereotypes. I'm not telling people how they should feel. I'm just saying that as Black Americans, with all your Western ideology and our privilege and our internalized challenges with the continent already, let's make sure we handle it with more care and more grace.
I am a Black American and I absolutely love to travel to the continent of.
This is for the African Americans who think exactly like her, because I know it's not all of you. Whenever you decide to buy a ticket and visit another country, predominantly Africa or the Caribbean, can you please make sure to leave that stereotypical mindset that was inflicted upon you by these white people that oppressed you at the door before you enter? And if you can't do that, simply don't go. Girl went to Africa and someone got injured. Oh my God, someone got injured. Someone's phone got stolen. Oh my God, someone's phone got stolen. Sweetheart, you are from a country where a teenager can go to Walmart and buy a gun. America has the highest number of serial killers. You are from a country where when a white teenager feels depressed, he goes and shoots up a school. You are from a country where people who look exactly like you get murdered in broad daylight with all the evidence to show that they were actually murdered and never get any justice. So please explain to me how you can boldly acknowledge crime or incidents elsewhere, but you can't notice it in your own backyard. So crazy to me how the Western world have conditioned and convinced themselves and the people in their community to believe that crime exists everywhere else apart from the Western world. No, because let me do this again. Did people not die at Ariana Grande's concert in Manchester, England? Did Kim Kardashian not get robbed at gunpoint in Paris? And yet you still only acknowledge that crime exists in Africa? Some of these people are the same ones who will come on social media and make these stereotypical jokes about Africa, about the fact that Africa doesn't have any water. Meanwhile, Michigan don't have none neither. You lot will come on this app and stay shouting about how they live in mud huts and how they live in trees, but will never take a moment to look at the statistics of homelessness in LA and New York. People like you will come on this app and stay preaching and talking about how impoverished and poor and disadvantaged and how sad it is to be African and live in Africa because of how Africa is. Meanwhile, you're getting oppressed in your own country. Believe it or not, it's the same way when some of them go to the Caribbean. And you know, funny enough, same thing happens in Jamaica. Same thing. If you ever travel to Jamaica, just make friends with one of the staff at the hotel and ask them the worst guests who visit, and they will boldly tell you African Americans. And you wonder why some Caribbeans and Africans simply just don't like some of you. Because you lot come here and stay in other people's business and stay talking shit, knocking your cent against somebody else's dollar. You lot can really stay at the land of the free that ain't free. You really can stay there. Nobody's begging you to carry your bag and come. Do you understand? Don't buy tickets. Stay home. Good night.
African Americans are moving to Ghana in record numbers. From New York to California, more and more African Americans are packing their bags and moving to Ghana as a part of a growing trend called reverse migration. Why? Because there's an abundance of opportunities waiting for them in this West African country. With growing industries like mining, agriculture, and technology, Ghana is an excellent place for anyone looking to build a future for themselves. Let's take a closer look at the 5 biggest reasons why so many African Americans are moving to Ghana. 1. The Ghanaian economy is thriving. Ghana is one of the fastest growing economies in Africa. It has a GDP of $192.5 billion and a GDP growth rate of 5.5% in 2017. The country also has a booming mining sector, which makes up a big part of its economy. The nation is also a major exporter of cocoa beans, gold, iron ore, and other minerals. It also has significant potential in the agricultural sector, with a variety of crops that could be grown in the country. Ghana has an emerging middle class with growing demand for food and other goods. As more people join the middle class, they'll have more money to spend on necessities and other goods. This economic growth has led to positive changes in the country, including an increase in the healthcare sector and an increase in the number of schools and universities. 2. Ghana has a low cost of living for expats. Ghana has a cost of living that's much lower than the US. That means expats will save a lot of money by not having to pay for the cost of living in the country. They can also enjoy a very low cost of living in the country by living in expatriate communities. Expatriate communities like Accra and Tamale have a low cost of living and a high quality of life for expats. These communities are popular destinations for African Americans who are looking for a new home. 3. Ghana has great education opportunities for children. There are several good schools in Ghana that offer quality education. This means that any African American kids who move to the country can send their children to good schools. This is a great way to ensure that your kids are able to grow up and get the education they deserve. Unfortunately, there aren't many public schools in Ghana. This means that parents will have to pay for private school tuition. This is another area where African Americans can enjoy a low cost of living and high quality of life. 4. Ghana is very safe for families and women. There has been a push in recent years to make Ghana a safer country for women. This has led to a push to increase the number of laws that protect women. This has led to an increase in the number of women who are safe to walk outside at night with no fear of being attacked. These laws have also led to an improvement in the safety of Ghanaian women. That means that they're much less likely to get attacked than women in other countries. This is a great chance for anyone who is thinking of moving to Ghana with their family. The nation continues to be a very safe place for people from all walks of life. It's also a very safe place for single people. That means that African Americans who move to Ghana can enjoy a very low chance of being attacked due to their race. 5. African Americans can help shape Ghana's future. With widespread migration from other countries, such as the US, Africa is becoming an even more important region for international business. Companies are looking for easy access to large consumer markets. This means that many companies are moving their headquarters to Africa. With this migration, these companies are bringing with them jobs for local citizens. This means that African American expatriates can be a big part of shaping the future of Ghana. How to move to Ghana as an African American. As America's melting pot, Ghana is a great place to move as an African American. First, explore the possibility of moving as a family. It's important to consider what kind of life you want to lead in Ghana. Are you interested in working in a specific industry, or are you open to exploring different opportunities? This will help you decide if Ghana is the right choice for you. Next, start building a network of people who live in Ghana. This will help you get access to information about the country and connect with people who can help you make the move. So to conclude, Ghana is a great choice for African Americans looking to move to a new home. It's a safe place for families to move, it has great education opportunities for children, and its growing economy means that opportunities are endless. If this description sounds like something you'd enjoy, then it might be time to move to Ghana. The best part about moving to Ghana is that it's relatively easy to do so. All you have to do is research the best places to move to in Ghana, make a plan, and then follow through with your plans.
My name is Imacus Njinga Okofu Ababio. I was born in New York City, and I returned home to the land of my ancestors, Ghana, West Africa, at age 50. And I've lived here for the past 25 years. This wall, this is Nanambra. Nanambra was the traditional ruler in Cape Coast. And he invited my husband and I in the first visitors in 1987. I was born in New York City, raised in New York City, went to university in New York City. Professionally, I am a human resource administrator. For 14 years, I worked as a human resource administrator for a major teaching hospital. I didn't want to be no African. The pictures that the media painted of Africa, the only Africa I saw was Tarzan and Jane, some white man flying through the air. Oh!
My goal is to get everybody to move back to Africa. That's my goal.
Okay.
I want to get as many African Americans back home to Africa as I possibly can. Because I know the day they move back, everything they fighting for in America, they will not have to fight for over there. All this struggle that they struggled over there, they're going to come there with this mindset, with this mentality, with the finances that they built, the equity in life, and bring it back and invest that in Africa. Man, Africa could be the strongest nation in the world if y'all went back home. Because we got everything that it takes to be that. We got the resources, we got the land, we got the population, and together we got the strength and we got the know-how. Like, why we ain't doing that?
All right, this is Ghana story time part 9, y'all. I'm still on things that I did not expect before I came to Ghana. So I really did not expect for there to be so many or such a community of African Americans who are living there. Like, I end up, of course, like, I met some people before I came who I knew like moved over there. You should definitely check out Candid Jewel on YouTube. Candid Jewel. She was definitely very helpful in terms of me planning my trip and things like that. And I was able to link up with her and get to know her a little bit both times that I went. Super cool individual. But outside of her, I just like met random people who were over there looking to repatriate, looking to make Ghana their home. So contrary to popular belief, there are a lot of African Americans who have kind of led the way, and they've started to move over there to Africa. So shout out to y'all, you helping a sister out. And like I said, like at random, like I was eating out once and I was about to do an interview with someone, and there was this random guy who I guess was listening to our conversation, and he was African American. He was telling me how he'd been over there for years, and he was saying, because a lot of people on YouTube say, oh, it's so difficult to move over here, Ghana is hard, da da da, which I don't doubt that that's true, but I think that to each is his own, basically. Like, I feel like if you do the necessary prep and you meet the necessary people, get yourself connected, you set a foundation, you travel a couple times, you experiment with like visiting a couple months at a time, I think you could be set up for the perfect situation. I personally don't think, but I'll let y'all ask me in about a year or two, but I personally don't think that it's as hard to move to Ghana as some of the YouTubers are making it seem. I just think it's about setting yourself up beforehand and not just, oh, I want to move to Ghana today, I'm just gonna go, because you all know it's hard to get a job over there. Life in Ghana is different, and especially if you're coming from a culture where things are done immediately, things are just a little bit easier. Of course it's gonna seem hard if you haven't kind of built the foundation. But the guy, he was telling me how he doesn't agree. He was like, it's super, like, it's been easy for him. And in my mind, I'm thinking, like, he's probably done some work to prepare before he actually decided to go ahead and move over there. So I didn't expect to meet.
Here is why African Americans are moving to Ghana. Ghana was the first country in sub-Saharan Africa to gain independence, and this was under the leadership of Kwame Nkrumah. It is this status that motivated the migration of African Americans. They looked up to Ghana as the new promised land, compared to how they were unfairly treated in America. The country served as an inspiration to people of African descent, whether they were originally from Ghana or not. American civil rights activist and writer W.E.B. Du Bois also settled in Ghana till his death, and he was buried in Accra. At the time of migration, he and some other activists moved to Ghana to contribute to the development of the country and also escape racism in the United States. Kwame Nkrumah welcomed the African Americans into the country, and he even brought the civil rights activists into his inner circle as advisors and political allies. And since that time, more African Americans have applied for permanent residence in Ghana. To encourage their migration and visits, the country decided to offer them a special visa. We're also aware that many Americans visited Ghana last Christmas. Will this be their regular destination? Keep following OK Africa.
American passports. I'm just thinking, did they gonna say, Sheku, I'm gonna hold an American passport like this. Sheku Sako. These are American passports. I'll be like, wow, God, thank you, I appreciate you. At least one of my dreams has already come to pass.
Uncle Sheku, please don't kill me. Is it gonna happen?
Do you want to exchange it? Let me give you because you now need a Guinean passport. Let me give you a Guinean passport. Then I'll.
So I've been waiting before I share this, and I'm gonna be 110% transparent with you guys, and I love each and every one of you guys that's followed me and has been there for me and with me, and together we've shared stories and laughters and DMs and all kinds of stuff. Y'all are my queens and I love you guys. But I'm moving on. A next chapter, I'm excited. It took me a minute, but now I'm excited to let you guys know that your girl is moving. And I'm moving with my parents. We are moving to Ghana, guys. We're leaving Friday. It's been a minute in the making, and I'm so excited. We're gonna go over there and just start a whole new, fresh life, you know? I live here in South Florida, and I gotta tell you, I've been going through it. I've had the year from hell. You've seen me smiling in my videos, and you know, look out for your smiling friends. That's all I gotta say. Because they're the ones that sometimes are the ones that are hurting the most. I learned how to take care of my emotions, and my mental state is what comes first over anything else. And this country, the way it's set up to destroy people like me, you know? And I just can't do it anymore. I can't breathe. I feel like I'm literally losing my mind. You know, sometimes it just takes one thing to stumble, and then the domino effect that causes you to lose control. Everybody in this country just seems to be one paycheck away from losing it all, from having it all to losing it all. With the interest rates climbing, the school shootings every day, I don't feel safe here. The greed, the racism that we have to endure. No, I'm tired of this. I want to go to my yard. Not necessarily Jamaica, but open. They're welcomed with open arms. I'm sick of turning on my FYU page and seeing all these Karens going crazy. These little black boys getting shot. You know, it's just too much. My mental state was, I was here trying to keep my head above water, to be honest. I'm not going to do this anymore. Last year, February, how it started was I got a new phone from T-Mobile. And T-Mobile, they had a breach. And everything was hacked. My Instagram was hacked. My Facebook was hacked. My bank accounts was hacked. I had to put a freeze on all of my credit reports so that they freaking took a loan out, a $20,000 loan in my name. Okay? People called me and said, "Congratulations, Cindy, on your loan." I was like, what? Took out $20,000, took out my life savings out of my checking account. And this happened on the 1st of the month, rent day in February. Everything got hacked. When I tell you, everything except for TikTok. They didn't get into TikTok. I had to act quickly and change all my passcodes, and even still, that wasn't enough. They went into my bank account, y'all. So that's how I knew it wasn't a social media hack. It was literally my phone that they got into. Sending my family and my friends all kinds of nude videos and pictures of me, and I don't know how they got that, but they did pick some cute ones. I wasn't mad at them. Trying to blackmail my family and my friends. It was horrific. I spent months trying to recoup from that, and I never did, because what happened with that? 1 month rent late, another month rent late, another month rent late, and it just starts snowballing like that, you know? And this happened last year, 2022. Yeah, 2022, in the heights of the greed. My apartment complex, I moved in there right before the pandemic, or right during the pandemic. The worst, they gave me the apartment, my bad, sight unseen. They promised me an upstairs, downstairs with a garage. This is what I wanted. By the time I got there, the day that I got there, they're going to tell me, oh, the apartment is no longer available. The person didn't move out. What do you mean the person didn't move out? I've seen them flip apartments. It takes like a week for them to flip an apartment, clean it up, do whatever. You know, the person didn't move out. You made me pack up my vehicle with all my stuff, drive 3 hours to come down here to tell me this shit. Anyways, So my lease was up. I had help. I got our Florida, and they helped me with my rental, late rent. They paid 3 months for me, which was great, and my lease was due to be renewed. What did these people do? They upped my rent $1,000. My rent was almost $1,700, and they raised my rent to $2,600 within 1 year. 1 year. So I had to leave that apartment. There was real tears. I lost everything, you know, but they're just things. They're just... Anybody want a dog? I don't know what I'm gonna do with my dog. That's the saddest part of my day. I don't know he's coming with me because he's gonna be, we're leaving on the 9th. He's gonna be 18 years old on the 9th. I can't leave him. Like, I've had him since he was 2 days old. So every time I make a video, this nigga always gotta be, look. He's my baby and I love him. So, I don't know. We were planning on going to Panama. And Panama, I don't know. My mother, she said she'll never go home. So when she said she wants to go to Africa, what the fuck? Africa? You're afraid of 2 mosquitoes in Jamaica? You want to run to Africa? But, you know, upon further research, she has a friend, Moya, down there. Shout outs to Moya. Auntie Moya, we're coming for you. You can watch Moya's videos on YouTube. As a matter of fact, please go ahead and follow me and follow my journey. I am so excited about this new chapter in my life. All my DJ equipment, like I already have people talking about, oh, I can't wait till you come and you DJ. And yeah, it's gonna be another chapter. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'm not gonna be able to do no more Trader Joe's hauls or nothing like that, but it's a whole new chapter. I can't stay in this country anymore. I mean, even worse with this fucked up governor that we have down here. He just passed a law talking about you can open carry your gun. Like, it's a stand your ground state as is. People have the right to run over protesters down here. They're already doing travel bans for people that look like us. They don't want us here. Why am I fighting to fit in? Fuck that. I'm out. If you're interested on coming with this journey, there's a lot of Americans and a lot of Jamaicans that are in Africa, Ghana particularly. So if you have any questions about anything, interested in trying to find a way to get out of this hamster wheel that you're on, let me know. I'll be happy to share what to do, where to go. I'm not a pro, but I know a few. So stay tuned. Go ahead, like, comment, and subscribe on my YouTube, guys. Mwah.
I get this question a lot, but honestly, the United States of America is just not the move for me at the moment. I appreciate all the opportunities it has given me, and I appreciate all the ease it gives me to access the world, honestly, but this country in itself is too expensive, is too divided, and is mentally draining for me. And I'm not complaining about it. I appreciate everything. I appreciate the fact that we have the freedom of speech. I appreciate the fact that we can own guns and protect ourselves. But I don't like how everything is so divided and how everything is literally so expensive. How you just have to pay to be alive. Basically, it's not because I don't like working, but this capitalistic system that we're all accustomed to, it just doesn't seem right for me. So in Africa, I don't know what their systems and values are at the moment, but I just know they're not the same as us here because I've lived there. I lived in Ghana for 3 years, but I've never lived there as an adult, so I'll see if there's better. And if not, you know, maybe I'll have to come back. But right now, this country is too hard, it's too difficult, and it's too draining on my soul. Yup. Hopefully Africa will do me better. I also just want to reconnect with my roots. The world is falling apart as we know it. Hopefully it can pick itself back up, but I would love to see where I come from before the opportunity relieves itself, because right now I have the chance to do it, to go learn from my grandmother, to go learn about the culture, to go learn about myself. So I'm taking the chance, I'm taking the risk, and I appreciate all of you following me on my journey. I really do. Stay tuned.
We talk about Africa. I post Akon talking about he trying to get everybody back to Africa. I'm one of the people that went back when he was saying this shit 5 years ago. Your money go farther, it's less violent. Africa is on the come up. Africa used to be at the bottom. Africa is coming up. It's modern, it's freeways, it's clubs, it's malls, it's doctors, dentists. It's so much benefit. Why you think I ain't came back? Man, I went over there and got Traflix built for cheaper than anybody in America could have built it. I bought land for cheaper than anything over here in America. This ain't no competition. We already got played in America. America is selling off all its national interests to foreign companies. The American government in San Francisco, the federal building is owned by another country and the federal government pay rent. So when people like, oh, nigga, you trying to bring us to Africa, whoop-de-whoop. Nah. You stay your ass here. Africa don't want all of us anyway. And especially you ones that think you better because you born in America. Man, if you don't sit your motherfucking EBT, welfare, Section 8.
Hey guys, welcome back. And I hope that got some of you guys thinking about at least going to visit and see what Africa is about. But if not, there's plenty of videos on YouTube that's letting you know how people from America are moving over to Africa. So I want to thank you guys for joining me today. This has been Boss Talk 843 Reacts, and I'll be right back with the next video. And thank you guys for joining.